Hello, everybody. Before we start, just wanted to let you know that Ben's microphone is a little wonky for the first 6 minutes, but the quality does get better.
She looked exactly like you'd expect her to look.
Bitch, I'm not taking my AR-15 to McDonald's.
Yeah, I am. Fuck you. What are you going to do about it?
You're listening to the Art and More podcast with your hosts, Nathan and BR. Nathan is a Canadian illustrator with a couple years of military experience, and BR is a British anarchist that moved to the States. Both are passionate shooters and community builders. Together, they run the Seaburn art page. Enjoy the show.
Dude, I just want to buy a suppressor in a parking lot.
God damn it, Nathan.
Hey, it's as good
I'm like a
as
weird
any.
man who's missing teeth. Sorry, go on.
Ideally, well, you can already do that. You're in Idaho. Anyway, welcome back to the Art and War podcast. I am BR, and I'm joined by my co-host Nathan.
Hello.
As well as our behind-the-scenes editor, Evan. And today we are rejoined by recurring and very special guest, Ben Sanderson of GOA, Gun Owners of America.
It's great to be back on my favorite podcast.
Hell yeah.
No cannibal jokes this time.
No cannibal jokes this time. Or questions. I don't think that made the cut. Anyway, weird things have been happening. Well, as usual, many things have been happening. And I think with all of the headlines, gun rights often gets buried, unfortunately. So always love to have you on, Ben, to kind of bring us up to date on what the hell is going on, especially for our audience who, much like ourselves, we just don't look at the gun laws. So it's good to know what's actually going on, what has changed, and trying to be marginally informed before we show up to the range with weird doodads, doohickeys, and other devices. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man, and lots to get into.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure to come on. I know I'm in your Discord, and people will tag me, and I try to get back to them as soon as I can.
I appreciate that quite a bit.
It's always fun to hear something.
Hey, Ben, is this a crime? Hey, Ben, is this legal yet? No!
I didn't see that.
Yeah, delete, block.
You know what actively pissed me off?
Oh, no.
Like a good amount. Sorry, this isn't necessarily just about the Discord, but like, I understand why people did it. I understand that people were like frustrated, but like taking it out on the GOA and whatnot when the NFA didn't get repealed during the whole thing. A lot of the discourse around like, hey, what do we fucking pay you guys money for? Not having any appreciation for the work and the dedication that went into trying to fight for getting the NFA knocked over and eventually getting $0 tax stamps, which I do think, like, in retrospect, is a big fucking win. That pissed me off. That pissed me off a lot.
I want to say that I thought the Discord was great. Everyone was super excited.
This isn't about the Discord. This is mostly
no, those guys are great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to realize how blessed we are to be in a situation where it's like we didn't get everything. We didn't get full deregulation, but we still got $200, and everyone's. It's kind of actually a good sign, in my opinion, that people are a little bit pissed that we didn't get it all the way. That's a great sign for the culture. If they're like, well, you only got $200 off. What about the records? It's like, hey, man, we're pissed off too.
Yes, I agree with being pissed off. I don't agree with being pissed off at you.
I mean, we have to be good stewards. It's funny. I'm currently at an event with all of the leadership, and these guys have been working in this entire space, the gun lobbying space, for over 50 years. This is actually our 50th year as an organization. So come out to Goals in Iowa. It's going to be a huge one. But these guys are talking about how at the very beginning they had to deal with Brady background checks, and how that the instant background check was actually a compromise that the Republicans came up for, instead of doing a 5-day waiting period and you get the gun. They were thinking, oh, this is just something, once this happens, there's not going to be any more gun control. And obviously we know that's not true, because you keep losing slices of the cake. But these guys are like, wow. All these guys have always been against the NFA. Like, we can look in our newsletters from 1980, and we'll be talking about how machine guns should be legal and how the NFA's infringement. They never thought it would be possible for us to get even this far, to even get people talking about short-barreled rifles and how we should just be able to own them. So it's, for me, I've only been doing this for 5 years. All I've known is the NFA. All I've known is instant background checks through NICS. But for them, they're seeing this as a huge step forward of like, wow, Look what we've, it took us 5 decades as an organization. We're finally taking a chunk out of this law that's been going on for 100 years. So that's, I enjoy that people, I recognize that people are upset, but I also think on the bigger picture, it's a good thing that they're upset. If they were just happy with the tax being removed, I'm like, no, guys, we can go for more. We should be going for more. We should always be striving to do more. That's emblematic of where we are right now with this administration. The reality is, we can be, the president has said, I'm going to be the most pro Second Amendment president in history. And that can be true as it is right now, but also we can want more and we deserve more. I think, I don't know if we got into it, but one of the big rules that was just passed, not by the ATF, but by the Department of Veteran Affairs, was them completely eliminating and apologizing to 270,000 veterans for disarming them because they had a financial advisor. I think we might have talked about that on the first podcast we did. One of the Discord guys will let us know.
I remember that. I actually, one of my next door neighbors, I took him to buy a gun, and he ended up not doing it because his NICS background check got delayed, and he thinks that was why. He was a veteran who has had a financial advisor. So it tripped him out so much he canceled it, and he did not end up buying a gun.
Yeah, and it's the chilling effect of having that and hearing people, and for beyond just guns, for a quick second, that's going to stop veterans from getting the help they need and from getting any of the benefits that they earn through their service, and that really chilled not only the Second Amendment but also their ability to get that help. And that's the real crux, is like, it's not only just no guns, it's, oh well, they're not going to be as healthy as they can be because they're afraid, they want to keep their guns. And if you have to choose between guns and your financial health, like, that's a hard choice for a lot of people. But going back to it, there's 270,000 veterans that were not only taken off this list, but given an apology by the department saying, hey, you were mistakenly put on this. We won't do it again. And this is something that's been going on for 30 years. So not as long as the NFA, but still a decades-long injustice that we've been fighting for the entire time. It's gone through 3 generations of federal affairs directors. And it's a huge monumental win. But yes, we can always push for more, and we should be pushing for more. Are we going to get everything we want all at one time? I'd love to. Unfortunately, it's not realistic. You can't have your entire cake at once. But the fact that we're continuing to push for more, the fact that we're not settling for just one big victory and that we want continuous victories, is a sign of a healthy Second Amendment community. And, we wouldn't be a good organization if we were just happy with one thing. We're not machine guns for gun owning Americans, because then if we just got machine guns, well, what's our purpose after that? It's always to protect all of the Second Amendment rights and continue pushing forward. Maybe we'll do laser cannons or something when those come
I was
around.
about to say, it's only going to evolve. Like,
yeah.
It's a little bit too esoteric for what this podcast is mostly going to be, but as the capabilities of, I guess weapons in general keep on growing, and like the capabilities of our government keeps on growing, like what civilians should have access to actually embody the Second Amendment, like it's going to be more than just rifles and pistols. It is more than rifles and pistols. So that's a whole, we can really go down that rabbit hole. It's probably like a good latter third of this podcast kind of ramble, but especially in the era of drones, I mean, there's going to be some interesting conversations about what that looks like going forward.
Well, it's like you see so many, because a lot of the gun control isn't working too. You see a lot of related technologies, such as drones, being heavily regulated. A big one now is 3D printers, and we're not going to get into that a ton, but you have states outright banning them, which it is a soft ban, like saying, hey, you can only buy ones that have like software that detects guns installed. When that technology literally doesn't exist, that's a ban. They just don't call it a ban.
I'm sure the 3D printing community is pushing back against that, right?
I mean,
I would imagine
it's basically impossible for it to even exist, as Nathan was saying. It's
yeah.
Basically what they're doing is putting the laws, or attempting to put the laws in place, hoping that it is eventually enforceable.
Yeah. It's kind of like get rid of all gas cars by 2030 kind of thing. Like it's impossible, but we rely on cars. They don't the country doesn't really rely on consumer 3D printers. It'll just fuck over a ton of people, a ton of companies, but big government doesn't care. They could give a fuck.
Speaking of which, things that Ben Sanderson can give a fuck about. Are the ATF the good guys now?
Bro.
Obviously, I ask with a grin because I know the answer. But yeah, Mr. Robert Cicada, whatever, however you say this man's name. What's the deal with this guy? The most pro 2A ATF director of our lifetimes, or whatever.
Yeah. So I gotta figure out how to. I think it's cicada, but I've heard cicada.
Cicada,
so I don't want
Cicada would be messed up.
Yeah. See, he's It's funny. We've heard some stuff from behind the scenes about how he's been in the ATF for a long time. We've heard some stuff about he pushed back against a lot of the previous administration, so the Biden administration rules, like the pistol brace rule, the engage in the business, the frame of receivers, all of that stuff. I mean, to be completely honest, we do talk with the ATF. We talk with Director Cicada now. I was at the signing of all the rules. You can pick me out as one of the only people not clapping when they're announcing everything. He did ambush me and turned around and gave me a handshake, and I was like, well, I can't not shake his hand and just like stare at him.
Gen Z stare.
But I think we talked about this a little bit before, but the most pro Second Amendment ATF director may not be as pro-gun as we are, but still, it's moving it in a direction where we're changing the window. We talked about Overton window on the podcast before, but still changing that is great. Having someone that before the ATF never even talked to us, never even tried to talk to us. Now, we can have these conversations, we can move forward, and yeah, they're still going to they might still disagree with us, but it's better that we're having these open lines of communication and we can make some input. Before, it was whenever there's a rule that came out, and we just flood the comments with our members talking about how bad the rule was or how we need to fix any things. We can try to stop some of that coming out before and at least give them the information. But yeah, getting into the rule signing, the ATF is doing what they're calling is a new era of reform at the ATF. So there's 34 rules in this first package, and to be completely honest, not all of them are bad, but not all of them are good. It's a mixed bag, and obviously, right now we haven't read through every single one of them to its for completion. I'm still waiting for our legal team to give us analysis, but there are some good wins in here for gun owners. If we want to talk about an easy one, and it's a lot of these they're small, but they're beneficial to gun owners for their daily use. It would be streamlining interstate transport procedures for NFA firearms. So if you've traveled across state lines with a NFA item before, like a suppressor or an SBR, you technically have to fill out a form 5320, I believe. That's declaring to the ATF where you're going, how long you're doing it for, and then you have to wait for it to get back, technically, to be in full compliance with the law. Now it's kind of a, hey, send the form off, and once it's gone, you can do it. So it's not perfect. Perfect world is no NFA. You don't have to tell anyone about that. But as long as it exists, it is reducing some burdens on it. It's making it a little bit easier. Another thing is removing the chief law enforcement officer notification. So there are these small wins where it's like we're chipping away at the NFA, like pebble by pebble. Getting rid of the Clio notification means you don't have to send an extra piece of paperwork and let I live in a pretty anti-gun county, so having all of my NFA items sent to the chief law enforcement officer, especially now that I live in a Democrat governor state, is like, oh, this is not great, and they know exactly where you live and exactly what you look like. So getting rid of that is another great thing. Probably the biggest one for people that live in smaller states or states close to the border is updating the transfer or the transport protections. Now that's huge.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one is really good. It's actually saying like, hey, and this is just from the summary. Sorry, I want to preface that we haven't read it. They still could find a way to mess it up. But instead of before, under the Firearm Owners Protection Act, which has a Hughes Amendment in it, everyone remembers that from the 86 legislation, but they don't remember all the other stuff. If you're traveling between a state where my AR-15 16-inch is legal to another state, you can't stop in that state in the middle where the AR-15 is illegal, technically. So if you stop for gas or if you stop to use the restroom or your car breaks down, technically that state in the middle, the anti-gun one, could arrest you for possessing a rifle in that state. But if you kept going through it, you should be protected under it. However, anti-gun states were kind of bending the rules and pulling people over if they knew it and trying to catch those people. Now the ATF and the federal government is saying, hey, these are parts of travel. If you need to stop for an emergency, if you need to stop to get gas, if you need to stop to sleep, you're still traveling. So you're not breaking that travel line that's protected under the Firearm Owners Protection Act, and you'll still be covered and you still won't be able to be prosecuted for it.
That one, sorry, I just want to pause on that real quick because there's like kind of a running theme with so much of this, just like what we were talking about with the veteran finance stuff, where these laws in like what they would veil as an attempt to protect people, like puts regular law-abiding people at risk. Like, okay, if I have to drive through, like, say Texas was like a complete banned state, like that's a hell of a lot of state to drive through without resting or stopping or anything. Like, not that Texas is that bad, but I don't know. I can't think of any Midwestern state they have to drive through for that. But I don't know, Illinois or something, like plenty long enough. You're putting yourself and others at risk, like if you're choosing not to stop because of these kind of implications. So it's good that more and more of these are being stripped away, where it's like, where is this to protect people? Because like you're putting people at risk.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, the gun in my back seat is not going to cause me he's not going to cause a car accident, but me not sleeping it for 10 hours across Texas, that's
yeah. There's a good chance.
Yeah. So not to fully, I don't want to say I've given some really good ones. There's another few smaller ones. Let's say training rounds. So the what are they called? No, you just
simunitions.
Yeah, simunitions. Those are no longer considered ammunition.
Yes.
So everyone's gonna be able to buy them again.
Oh, thank God, because they were only coming from Britain for like a very short period, right? Which is weird.
Yeah, they were banned. They were actually banned from import. I think from Britain is for some reason it's like a brand name like Kleenex, where they're the only ones that really made them.
Yeah.
And they were just had almost a monopoly on it. But now you're able to import them because they're not really considered ammunition anymore. They're saying it doesn't meet the qualifications, which again, it's a small thing, but
not insignificant.
Yeah, it's a good push forward of like, hey, you can use these for training again. We're not going to stuff you up. We're not going to try to make it hard on you. There's a few here on import export, which I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in. I've been told that some of them are good, some of them are bad, or we just don't know yet. But it is, again, they're trying to make it a little bit easier. They're trying, from what we've heard, this is their attempt to do that. Now, however, there are some bad ones.
I also have a question kind of regarding the last one. It's been on my mind for a little while. Commando Bond mentioned it, which was apparently if you fly through New York, like even if it's interstate, even if it's whatever, they'll arrest you in the airport if you legally check a gun into your bag. Like they will have police waiting for you as you deplane. So it's kind of a nightmare situation if you're a gun owner flying somewhere and you get redirected for whatever reason to EWR like Newark or anywhere in New York, because they will not honor the interstate travel thing. Have you heard of that?
So yeah, there is one. Oh, yeah, I can't remember the name of him. He's sorry, I keep leaning away from the mic. It's from I think it was the '90s or the early 2000s. It was put a documentary out on him. It's not Joel Osteen. New York is one of those states that does not respect FOPA. However, airports are a little weird. I think especially for New York airports, they're part of the Port Authority. Again, not a lawyer. This is what we kind of came up with. It's if you bring an illegal gun, a New York illegal gun, sorry, into New York, even though you're traveling. So, like, say I'm flying from Virginia to New York at the airport and then getting out, that wouldn't be protected by FOPA because I'm not traveling through the state. However, if you're saying for your flight gets delayed or something, you probably would, and that's definitely one of those cases where, yeah, you're really abusing the law. It's not really someone intending to bring that gun into the state. They're just forced to by circumstances and emergency. So we'll have to again see exactly what the rule says, but there is also another one on common carriers, which could include airports or airlines, and what that means to have possession of it or not. So it's definitely something to be on the lookout for and to see what and to stick around for an update.
One of those
that makes sense. I've always thought about it because you generally fly into Washington here. It's a nightmare situation if Washington started to enforce that. Sorry, BR, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I mean to that point, I think we've talked about it plenty of times on this show. But like Nathan picking myself and Philip at the airport in Washington, and oh my god, we have so many guns, and it's like get us the fuck out of here, dude.
Hold on, Washington State or DC?
Washington, Spokane, Washington,
Okay.
which is the closest airport that services this area of Idaho. So, like, it was a genuine, like, I am going through the state for an important.
Yeah, it was legal. Like we would have been like messed up all sorts of ways flying in if they had any kind of legal problem with that. But yeah. Just I just want to get out of there as quick as possible. We're carrying.
Yes, there was probably enough hardware to invade a small like South American country.
When is Eastern Washington separating from that state?
Yeah, this area of Washington is very cool, and generally, I think they're straight up introducing legislation to make it so any sheriff that disobeys the state government gets fired or something like that, which is very telling on how it is here. And hopefully that legislation doesn't go through.
I'm trying to go all RCMP on them.
Exactly.
Not to go on a tangent, but yeah, there was just a Supreme Court case essentially on Second Amendment sanctuary states.
Oh, really?
The Trump administration, the DOJ there, shut it down because they were afraid of sanctuary states for immigration. But they were like, they also were like, oh, big federalism, we need to be in charge all the time, and if you disobey us, it's bad. That's something GOA has pushed for a long time. Is those Second Amendment sanctuary states. We did in Virginia when we were first facing an assault weapons ban scare from Northam, and really pushing that and getting these localities to be like, no, I'm not gonna send my deputies to confiscate something that people have owned for decades just because you don't like them anymore. So that's definitely on top of constitutional carry. I think our state guys have been really killing it at. It's from the very beginning. Again, I'm going to go back to it, but I'm at this event with all of our leadership who have 3 times the amount of years that I have alive lobbying for guns. They've been around doing this since the very beginning, and they're talking about constitutional carry, and we're at 29 states now, and they're like, oh, I remember when it was Vermont carry, and then we were pushing Vermont carry in Alaska, and then Alaska came on board, and then Arizona. And so us having 29 states is incredible. We obviously we want all 50, but we have to realize where we are and historically how much has changed. And like, yeah, we should be upset, and it's great that we're upset about not all states being constitutional carry right now. But it's also good to remember man, the culture has changed so much, and it's really it's a white pill.
Dude, it is. I mean, just since I've been in the country, the amount of constitutional carry states that have cropped up, like it's kind of been amazing. I've been here like
Yes.
approaching a decade, which is shocking for people to hear, but like we're getting there. And I mean, I can't remember exactly how many states. I'll look it up once we're done. But like, it's funny how landscape has changed even just in the time I've been here. Over, I mean, we went like Trump, Biden, Trump, in all that time.
What I really like seems to be a little bit of the attitude of like, "Fuck you, make me."
Yeah.
I've been talking
I mean,
about more or less since the beginning. It's starting to leak up to Canada too, which I really appreciate. Like the whole assault weapons ban up there, which we won't get into in this show. I complain about it enough, but like I think Canada is kind of a good template of like, hey, this is what happens if you don't fight back. Like total confiscation, total everything. Like gun control is always met with more gun control. It's like, okay, we banned everything but the SKS. Now we're going to ban the SKS. But yeah, that's not a conversation for right now.
I mean, we can make it about that.
I mean, anywhere you go, just keep the rebel spirit alive, and everything else will follow.
Yeah.
I think there was a bill in Rhode Island that they had a grandfather clause on their assault weapons ban, but they were saying, actually, no, we're going to strip the grandfather clause, and you've got to turn everything in by the end of the year. I think that bill's dead right now, but
good. I saw the sponsor of it trying to. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I saw the videos of the sponsor trying to justify it and being like, "Oh, well, you know, if they're too deadly to keep in houses, they're too deadly to keep on the street." And of course, it was like she looked exactly like you'd expect her to look.
Bitch, I'm not taking my AR-15 to McDonald's.
Yeah, I am. Fuck you. What are you going to do about it?
Where the hell do we go from there?
Other possible white pill I saw, and this was posted in Discord literally within the past 24 hours, says the Supreme Court will legalize the AR-15 according to Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon. Right, well, now I think it's fake. That sounds encoded as shit.
Well, Harmeet Dillon is the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division.
Okay, so that is legit. But it says that apparently there's a lawsuit targeting the Denver assault weapons ban on AR-15s, and I guess they're looking to maybe finally make AR-15s common use or common law, whatever it is.
Well, it's the most popular rifle in the fucking country. I would hope so. It's about time.
Yeah, I'm going to glance through this while you guys talk and maybe find some other sources, but it was literally posted within 24 hours of recording.
So, yeah, I can give a quick breakdown of that. So, yeah, the Civil Rights Division is one part of the DOJ that's been going after gun control in the states, and they've been really going hard. And we've talked about it before on our Twitter about what Civil Rights Division is doing and how great they're doing. And this is one of those things that's going to have impacts in the federal court finally, because we've been getting a lot of fight back on the rest of our lawsuits, but this one's really important. So Denver does have an assault weapons ban, and Civil Rights Division is suing over that. They're also suing over Colorado's magazine ban. So these two bills, or these two court cases, they're not going to go necessarily to the Supreme Court now, like after they're introduced or filed. But there's, I think, 11 or 12 magazine ban cases and assault weapons ban cases sitting right at the doorstep of the Supreme Court. So what they're saying about this is it's more of a signal to the court that the administration is giving, like, hey, you should take up this case. You should take up the cases where people are trying to ban assault weapons and where they're trying to ban magazines. They've talked about it, about Virginia banning their proposed assault weapons ban and what that could mean. Now, we're hopeful they take up our assault weapons ban case, which is on Illinois. It also covered, because it's the best. Our lawyers are the greatest. But there's a lot of them out there. I think Maryland's assault weapons ban case, that was not taken by the Supreme Court last year. And to be completely honest, their assault weapons ban is a little weird because technically it's banned, the AR-15 is banned, but if you put a heavy barrel on it, air quotes, then it's legal. But they don't say what a heavy barrel is.
That's really weird.
Yeah. So we're hoping for the best possible cases, which unfortunately is the worst possible assault weapons ban. So Illinois is terrible. So that's why we've taken it as a case and why we're pushing it so hard. I think we're in a coalition with a few other gun groups getting behind it and really pushing that one. Because if we can get a SCOTUS ruling will help all of these other states and will shut down all of these fights immediately. So if Virginia tries to pass it after the Supreme Court, they're going to try, but our immediate lawsuit is you can't do this. The federal government said you can't do this, so it's over. There's no debate. and judges are going to look at that and say, yeah, it's done. This is already the precedent set by the Supreme Court. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't weasel your way out of it. Does that answer your question, Evan?
Yes, sir.
So aside from that, all of these, is it Rule 34?
Do not look up ATF Rule 34.
I genuinely wonder. I'm going to do it right now and see if any pornography appears.
Okay. Anyway,
ATF Rule
of these of these 34 changes, is there anything else notable from the first glance?
Yeah, and I think the most important rule that we're focusing on right now, it's going to be 08P. It's established defined retention periods for FFL transaction records. This is based on the registry, the ATF's illegal billion record registry. So during the Biden administration, they changed how long you had to keep your background check form for gun stores. It's the Form 4473. Before the Biden administration, you only had to keep that record for 20 years and then you could destroy it. However, if you went out of business before the 20 years on that form were up, it would get sent to the ATF's out of business records collection center, which is where our last count was just under 1 billion, but where all of these files have been digitalized, they're put into like essentially PDF format. And Stephen Dettelbach, Stephen Dettelbach, the former ATF director, is in committee saying, we actually, no, it's not a registry. We can't search it. We actually pay Adobe to remove the search feature. So it's like, oh no, we forget to pay the bill, and it's you can do it. So this is the one we're concerned about because right now, as it stands, it's indefinite, and all of these forms, if you've purchased a gun in the last 20 years, your record has to be kept permanently, or it's in the ATF's record center permanently for right now. Now they're moving towards fixing that and reverting it to either 20 or 30 years. And they're also doing the same for their records as well. So this is an improvement. However, it should be 0 years because federal law is very clear on this. The ATF shouldn't have any registry at all. So this is probably the one that we're going to focus on the most, and we'll probably do another Minuteman on it and explain it again. I'd encourage you, I think I can drop the link in here, where we've done a registry report on it and exactly how there is an illegal ATF registry. It's not it's not some conspiracy theory. It's something that we've done the research on. We have the information from the ATF through a FOIA. They've talked to Congress about it, and we're making a big stink about it. Actually, our senior vice president just testified in front of Congress, and we had Senator Rand Paul talk to him about it. I'm like, oh, they haven't sent me any follow up on the letter I sent them. I think I'm going to have to subpoena them. So ATF registry is very much alive, and it's something that we're really focused on getting rid of. And it's something that we could easily do. But stopping them from doing just 20 years or 30 years is very important. And it's probably where we're going to put a majority of our focus on. So just like how we talked in the very beginning, I think my first episode about the pistol brace ban and how the ATF is asking for comments, we're going to be writing comments for this one and to get them to try to convince them to do less than 20 years. Because any amount of time is bad. But 20 years would be, we're talking about President Trump is saying he's the most pro-Second Amendment president in history. But if we just go back to the status quo before him, then it's like, what are we doing? It's like, yes, technically it can be true. However, you have a chance to make it a huge victory for gun owners. Why aren't we taking that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bar on being the most pro-2A is literally like 20 feet below the floor. Like...
That can also be true.
I mean, God, what the last most beloved Republican president, Reagan. What did he do for us?
Ban machine guns because black people had rifles like open carried. Oh man.
The one argument I love to use with like black people specifically, and this is not racist, is reminding them that gun control was basically started as a form of racism. People forget that.
Yeah, like genuinely, if the Black Panthers didn't exist, it wouldn't have been a hot button issue for them to jump on for political points for some of the most sweeping gun control. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, American gun control goes right, all the way back to slavery. So
yeah,
that's where we started.
Genuinely, anyway. Same with like the voting rules, like the IQ tests and things like that. A lot of it's kind of funny how a lot of the kind of constitutional infringements go back to it, and then
that's a whole rabbit hole. We don't want to want to get lost down this rabbit hole.
Well, speaking of machine guns,
I like that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't think we got a chance to talk about it because it happened so quickly. But did we talk about West Virginia and the assault, the machine gun loophole?
Oh, yeah. We should talk about this
directly to the civilian populace-based government.
Yeah.
So that's actually, we've been planning that one for since SHOT Show, so since almost last year, where our lawyers found the federal government made an argument in the FRT case, actually, in the settlement, saying, actually, the Hughes Amendment, which is part of 922.0, allows the state government to transfer machine guns without doing background check, post-86 machine guns, without having to do any of the extra. There's no ban on them. There's no post-86 machine gun in the sense of if it comes from the state government. So what GOA did, and our great legal team and our state team, they went up to West Virginia. They found a legislator who was able to say, hey, what if we made an ABC store except for machine guns? It essentially is that, where if the state government, in West Virginia is amazing. It's so close yet so far from me. But moving us towards that of like, yes, there's a loophole for it for post-86 machine gun ban, where if the government sells it to a civilian, it's fine because it's a government transfer. We know this because the DOJ said so in their FRT case because a bunch of anti-gun states sued them and said, hey, you can't give these guns back. They're still machine guns. DOJ basically said, one, no, they're not. Two, they said, even if they are machine guns, we can do it. We can't because it's a government transfer. So there's no ban on it.
Under the wording of the law, isn't that... Sorry, go on.
No. What was your question?
I read a little bit about that, and there's a specific wording in the... like how the NFA was written, how the machine gun ban was written, that could allow that. So technically, couldn't they be working within the realm of the law? Sorry, this might be like a dumb shit easy question to answer, but it's relevant, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're talking about. The law allows for state governments to do transfers. They're exempted from the post-86 machine gun ban. So you can have a post-86 machine gun if it comes from a state government. As if the state government transfers it to you, you're completely good.
So, second question. How long a commute is it from where you work to where you would potentially move in West Virginia?
They actually have a train.
I think that's what I initially meant to ask, and then it just fell out of my head, like halfway through what I was talking.
That has been the thought in the back of my mind. I was like, man, the second they get this passed, I was like, oh no, I have to look for property in West Virginia now. Which was also part of the hook for West Virginia, is they want more people to come. They want more tourism. They want the extra revenue to get rid of their income tax. So having that distinction as the state that can sell machine guns to you is is definitely one thing they were pushing for. And it's very close. It's close enough to DC that, man, if I have to drive an hour and a half every day, that's fine. I have a machine gun.
I would do that. Yeah, straight up.
Dude, I just drove through West Virginia, and it is, unfortunately, didn't stop at all aside from to get gas, but it is so beautiful. And like the people it's, don't get me wrong, it is like Appalachian, like backwoods stuff, but it's everyone's pretty cool though.
You've already sold me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
Oh no, a place where they still know the old ways.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, but they're the first one in the door. We have talked to other people all around the country that want to do the exact same thing. I think we talked on the second it came out and that we told everyone what we were doing and the plan for it. I think we had state members from New Hampshire reach out. We had state members from Kentucky reach out. I think Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. Yes.
So it's definitely it's the same thing. It's almost like constitutional carry, where it's rhyming.
It just has to start somewhere.
Yeah, one state has to be the first one to do it, and then it's like, well, if you want to be part of the cool kids club, you got to do the same thing.
Yeah, none of those states want to get out America Max.
Yeah, dude. Tax is so fucking gay, but if my tax dollars could go into making a machine gun store, if my tax dollars could give a M249 open bolt machine gun to every man, woman, and child in this state, hell yeah. I'll pay it with a smile.
Can I buy them in bulk at Costco?
Blister package.
Yeah, so there's the unfortunate thing is it has to be through a state government to fit into the Hughes Amendment. However, again, this is one of those things where it's not everyone wants machine guns at a Walmart or a Costco, and we want the exact same thing, but pushing the window, pushing everything forward, getting people. Once we get people used to the idea of like, oh yeah, you can have machine guns. Oh, why does the government have to sell it? Like, why not we just sell it at Walmart? It's really the culture change that we've got to see. We've got to keep pushing. And yeah, let's be upset that it's not more. Then I had to buy it from the government. I was like, oh, well, it's not good enough.
One question I did have about the culture side of things, and this is something I think about a lot, is that for any culture to survive, you need a place to congregate, talk about stuff, do things. What is the state of gun ranges opening and closing across the country? Like, is there a national registry of, I guess, certified ranges? In some places, when a range goes down, that can kill the culture for an entire area. Like over here in Indiana, we don't have a whole lot of gun ranges because it is so flat. There's only so few to go around. And so to me, it feels like when one of them goes away, or if it's a really restricted place no one wants to go to, like some FUD-owned conservation club or like a place that only does trap and skeet, I'm like, okay, where do all of the quote-unquote gun people go now to practice their craft? So I've just been wondering if there's been like a noticeable trend up or down in terms of like how many ranges exist in the country.
I don't think we don't track that. It's one of those hard things to know. I know that it's definitely. I think it's one of those things where those clubs will have to change through us, through gun owners that want to go out and want to do shooting at these events or at these ranges, and like, hey, I want to make a 360 bay here. Oh, how do I do that? Well, I've got to run for the leadership. I've got to get my buddies involved. We need to change. We need to take it over and be like, yes. This great range in the middle of nowhere, we're going to make it so that you can do all of your rifle, like sitting rifle shooting as well. But hey, we're also going to put in a 360 bay. We're also going to put in a pistol rifle bay. Oh, one where you can run. We need to be the change in our culture that we want to see. We have to take that leadership. We have to take that authority to be like, yes, it's great. I want to go shoot and I want to have all these things, but how do we build that community? How do we build that culture? If we're not going out there and actively doing it as well. I mean, it's the same with you guys cleaning up ranges and doing range cleanup day. It's building that culture to have ownership in that range and to have people take care of something and realize, hey, a lot of people can take it for granted is if they have nice ranges around them. But for, like you're saying, for people that don't have those ranges, and I live in a very urban area, it's hard for me to find great ranges where I can do all the running and everything, and I have to drive a while for it. But still, having that community, having people want that, and also business entrepreneurs will be like, hey, I can see a lot of people in this area own AR-15s. I bet you they'd like to run a gun instead of having to drive 2 hours into West Virginia into the hills. I can do this in their backyard, and I can make a bunch of money from it. So I think it's almost a chicken or an egg problem of, I get what you're saying. We need to find a place to build that culture. But I think also the culture will build those places and it just will snowball itself. But I could be wrong.
So basically overthrow the board of directors for your local conservation club and make change. Got it.
Yeah, just vote them out.
No, we're talking a straight coup here, my guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, he can't say that on there.
Well, it's a non-violent coup where your election buddies are just like you just vote them out.
Funny enough, I've been asked to join one of the local ranges kind of for that reason. Like they're very fuddy, like 2 rounds like not as bad as it could be, but like no FRTs, no. So I've been asked to
No green
run.
tip.
Yes, that's actually another thing. No green tip. No.
Fuck
I've
off.
been
It's
asked to
armor
run.
piercing. It's not mound of dirt piercing.
Yeah, but I don't. I really hate politics. I really, really, really hate politics. But the temptation is there to run on a small level and then just like immediately disband.
Of course.
Any level of Nathan political campaign would be fucking hilarious.
He's like, oh, I'm the leader of a political organization now? No, I'm not. It's gone. I killed it.
Yes, I killed it with a gun. But like, imagine the propaganda. Like that is the one big thing. The posters I'd make for myself are fucking hilarious.
Gotta do it like benevolent dictator style artwork.
Oh, 100%.
Like Che Guevara type shit.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be like Maoist fucking.
Yeah. I've been playing Atomic Heart lately, and all like the old Soviet propaganda, like that art style just hits. It hits.
does.
But yes,
It's the Obama change poster. It says "kill
Yes.
litter bugs" on it.
I still want to. Obviously, I'm saying this is parody. I would never do this, but I don't take responsibility if other people do. I still have a bunch of those stickers, and I would love to see them start showing up on trailheads. I would love to absolutely see them legally be put places where people will see them, and I absolutely will not, litter myself by putting these stickers on trailheads I go to and keep finding bottles of Keystone Light. I absolutely will not execute the people who are throwing them into the woods when I find them. But yes, that's enough for me.
Available now at pptaskforce.com. There we go. Got the ad in.
Yes.
All right. So, one thing I wanted to hit on with this new ATF director, I think one of the most important takeaways is his words, because what can you hold anyone in political office to more than what they say at the start of what they're doing compared to what they're doing at the end? And it was interesting to he actually addressed, I forget the exact words, but basically stating the quiet part out loud of how the ATF has been, previously weaponized against law-abiding Americans, and effectively that is coming to an end with his leadership. That was an interesting, because they never say this stuff out loud. It's always, especially with Dettleback or whatever the fuck his name was. I
hate that dude. Fucking, he looks like a human thumb.
An absolute roach of a human being. But the way his like veiled phrasing of basically like the mass of American gun owners are domestic terrorists, like all of these veiled like alluding to how dangerous the general law-abiding public is, was like just so detestable and dehumanizing. And so, like I do not live by anyone's words. I wait to see what their actions are. But him starting with basically setting the precedent, like, hey, that's not how we're going to run this organization, is, I have never been hopeful or optimistic for the ATF, but it is at least a nice place to start from, I guess, in line with, somewhat putting his words or his actions where his mouth is.
Yeah, and we've got to see, and we've got to hold him accountable. But the fact that he's acknowledging that, I think it's in line with the entire administration has said about, everything's being weaponized. But we need to see that moving, and we want that to move. We want to help them stop this weaponization. We want to really push for actual change at the ATF. We're still voting. We're still pushing to defund them and to abolish them. But while they're here, and while they're still getting hundreds of millions of dollars, we might as well keep taking as many bites out of that cake as we can.
Real quick, on the topic of abolishment, one thing I heard Brandon Herrera say a while back, I think he even did a whole video on it, was that the, I guess, unintended consequence of abolishing the ATF is that all of that personnel, all that legislation, all that money goes to a different department, which is probably better placed to, for lack of a better term, oppress people. Is there any truth to that idea?
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why we say abolish the ATF. There is a long process that it sucks, and it's going to sound like a cop out. But the reality is, there are so many gun laws we need to get rid of first before we can abolish the ATF to where we can make it completely useless. Or that stuff just goes over to the FBI or goes over to DHS or ICE or someone else.
Yeah, that's kind of my big worry. It's like you get rid of the ATF, but it just goes to like a bigger and better funded agency with closer ties to the federal government, which, I mean, the ATF has about as close ties as you can get. But,
well, I mean, all of them. It's in the name federal agency, but yeah, like basically giving it to a more competent boogeyman. Like, if the FBI, we've talked about this on a previous episode with Ben, but like, say the FBI absorbs like 90% of the ATF's current responsibilities, like that's a really bad day because they
have 10 times the budget and resources. It could get a whole lot worse.
Yeah, they become the RCMP against guns. Like,
that is a nightmare situation.
Without the gay uniforms, at least.
Yeah.
Well,
my mind jumps to, I have an FFL friend up in Spokane, and he was an FFL SOT, and he had like one ATF agent that dealt with him. And this guy was just a piece of shit. He would get him on everything. He'd even make up rules and like tell him to do things, and he'd do these things directly, like spend days going over paperwork and like getting out on things like not dotting I's or dotting I's incorrectly on written forms. Like this guy was a piece of shit. He weaponized every single thing. And it's important to note, like, they didn't have any personal relationship. It wasn't just like a personal grudge. This guy just hated guns and he hated FFLs. And that's probably why he was an ATF agent in fucking Washington. He was just a state level enforcer. And I've heard that other agents up there who are doing these compliance checks and whatnot are super chill. So like, it really depends on the mood and overall personality of the person you get who's enforcing these rules, on whether they can fuck your entire life and livelihood and like, send you to jail or strip your license away based on legitimately personal bias. And I imagine that going to like the FBI, which has totally different hiring protocols and probably even less oversight. But I also don't know. I don't know. It's bad regardless.
We should definitely talk offline about that. We'll see what we can do on our end. But no, your guys are 100% right. There's one bill out there. Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. He ended up shuttering, unfortunately, because it was such a pain to maintain the FFL.
And yeah, that's how they get you. It's with all this paperwork and the zero tolerance lawsuit and really pushing that. That's I'm going to jump back into that. Back into the rules, they're changing one of the definitions that the Biden administration changed on willfully. This is going to be boring legal talk, so cut it out if it doesn't make sense.
Well, there's a lot of business owners that listen to this, so it's very relevant.
Oh, a ton.
So one of the things that they're doing is they're changing the definition of willfully. So under the Biden administration, willfully violating the law was, you have the ATF FFL manual. So that means you know everything in there, even if you've never read it, even if we've never tested you on it. You just know it. So instead, they're changing it to a different definition under a court case, which is saying, in layman terms, I'll try my best to do it. No longer are the simple paperwork mistakes going to be one of those things where they can revoke your license for. It's one of the things we sued over. Instead, they're changing it to you have to willfully do it, meaning, let me find exactly what our lawyers say. It's a higher standard of willfully and like knowingly doing it. You have to intentionally and purposely engage in the conduct that is forbidden by law, and you have to have actual knowledge that what you're doing is unlawful. So essentially, like, you need to say, I'm intentionally miswriting this name, or I'm intentionally not filing this report because I want to break the law. It's not, I didn't dot my I or I didn't cross my T. You can't get your license revoked for that. It has to be something there's a lot of intent behind, instead of if someone is selling guns to the cartel on purpose to make money and hiding all those records, they're probably going to lose their license. But if Billy Bob like miswrites a name and nothing comes of it, that's when it'd be like, no, just don't do it. Just be better. But again, that's one of the rules where it is an improvement for gun owners. We just put out a video where we were unsure of what the definition was, and now that we have the rule and we've read through it, it's like, okay, no, this is good. We're happy to hear this. This is going to be a win for gun owners. This is no longer you're going to get messed up by having an I instead of an L or something like that.
Crazy it has like that was even where it was at, but I mean, as we've discussed, like there was just a environment where you were punished for being in the industry or trying to participate. Like you try your hardest to follow the rules and still you'll get punished for it to the point of potential financial ruin.
100%. But jumping back into the abolishing the ATF question, I think we talked about this last time, but the administration wanted to merge the ATF and the DEA into one massive mega organization. So the issue there is, while they might be focusing on illegal immigration and the border and all that, and the ATF agents are going to go down and do that, that's for right now. But the next president that comes in as anti-gun, like Gavin Newsom, he's not going to care at all about illegal immigrants, and he's going to be like, I have 10,000 agents and I have satellites and I have all this GPS tracking data. I'm going to go after people who own AR-15s. So that's why, there's a bill out there called the Abolish the ATF Act, and it's a very simple one. It's one line. It says, abolish the ATF, and that's it.
Based.
It's great on paper. It sounds based, but the unintended consequences of that are all this federal law exists. If we don't get rid of NFA requirements, we don't get rid of those background checks. Do you want the FBI doing that? Do you want the FBI running your background check? And we're throwing it out, and all these things might get split up, meaning that ICE might have to look out in your background check form. FBI might be doing your NFA paperwork. So it makes it harder for everyone to watchdog all these organizations. It's hard enough, and we're focused on one organization with the ATF to track everything they do. So imagine 12 different federal agencies that we all have to look at every single time to see if something goes wrong. So it's a nightmare on that end, but also it's missing the point. It's a feel good for a second. It's like, hey, we got rid of the ATF. But what have we done to improve actual gun rights in that moment? So we're going to continue to chip away at them, reduce their budget, reduce their responsibilities, get rid of all these gun laws. And then, when the time comes, abolishing the ATF is almost like a check mark at the end. It's a rubber stamp because they don't do anything anymore. What?
It really makes sense to abolish them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to say on that? Under this administration, like we've seen quite the push on like a lot of federal power pushes. So now that we're like into the Trump administration, someone I wanted to ask was, have we seen any moves from the administration that, while today are not like against the Second Amendment directly, but potentially set us up for something like, you mentioned, like say a Gavin Newsom presidency, some kind of anti-gunner presidency? Is there any like federal funding that has concerned GOA from this administration that might set us up for increased risk in the future?
I think the biggest thing, it's not necessarily government funding, but it's our court cases. In a lot of cases, they're trying to moot them, which makes them essentially irrelevant and doesn't end the case with a solid conclusion. It just kind of says, we're not pursuing this anymore. We're not arguing anymore. So instead of letting the judge give final judgment and setting an actual ruling or precedent, they're instead saying, no, you don't need to look at this anymore because we're not enforcing it. And that creates an issue.
Yeah, kicking the can down the road and leaving it open to the next administration to then decide on a conclusion, right?
100%. For the pistol brace rule, that's going back to the ATF rules. We haven't read it. I haven't read it fully, but just revoking the rule itself is not enough. Getting rid of the pistol brace rule that the Biden administration came up with, they said that they're not enforcing that before, so getting it off the Federal Register is good. But at the same time, the DOJ has told us we're still actively able to enforce a pistol brace rule against, certain people, certain pistol braces, because it's the underlying statute. Some people still believe that there are certain pistol braces on AR-15s that violate that statute, and they're able to do that without the rule, which is insane logic from the Biden administration that they're carrying over. But just getting rid of the name, it's the same thing as abolishing just the ATF and not getting rid of the underlying issues, underlying gun laws of, yeah, it's great, we're getting rid of the thing, but the danger is still there. And by mooting these cases, instead of letting them come to a judgment, instead of creating actual precedent in the federal court system of saying, hey, the federal government can't ban pistol braces anymore. They can't ban frames and receivers. They can't ban personally made firearms. They can't arrest you for not following universal background checks. It's making it so that all the next ATF director has to do is say, hey, we're writing this rule and everything's back to normal, or everything's back to where it was before in the Biden administration, which is a huge issue. And that's why we've been fighting last few months to say we need settlements now. We need to get an actual statement on what's the correct version here. We can't just right now. To be completely honest, we're not really worried about the Trump administration saying, "Oh, we're going to enforce background checks, universal background checks." But at the same time, it's not about now. It's about the next 50 years. It's about the next president, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So have they given you any kind of reasoning as to why, like, do they have an answer as to why these things aren't getting, like, put to bed and decided on? Like, is it just kind of a, hey, there's a lot going on right now, man? Or, like, what's kind of the answer to any of these concerns?
In the legal side, from the court cases, they're saying, oh, well, it's no longer an issue because we're not enforcing this law anymore. Why they're choosing to do this, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I won't pretend to speak on behalf of the administration.
No, for sure.
Yeah, but we don't understand it. Obviously, that's why we're fighting so hard and we're talking about it. Yeah, you'd have to ask them.
That's fair enough. So it's just kind of like just leaving these things floating. How odd. Sorry, Nathan, were you going to say something a second ago?
No.
I've just thrown you to the wolves.
No, you're okay. I'm just dealing with dogs. So I have been thrown to a wolf, but she's kind of retarded.
Just like me.
Speaking of throwing to the wolves, the Discord has some questions if we have time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I always love questions.
But yeah, before we dive down the Discord rabbit hole, Ben, are there any other major topics that have come up since we had you on last that are worth bringing up?
Oh man, that feels like so many things ago.
Yeah, like who even cares, man? I guess in like recent development, aside from this, new ATF director and all of these kind of new decisions, I guess it's also relevant the switch over from Pam Bondi. Like, she seemed to not be very helpful.
No, actively bad, actually.
I mean, outside of my wider political concerns, to the realm of like gun rights, she seemed positively fucking useless. But has there been, I don't know, I guess any developments in that kind of time period outside of the new ATF director that's worth talking about?
The Bondi leaving, obviously sets up a great opportunity for the DOJ to, instead of doing all these past mistakes, not settling our cases, not pushing gun rights as much as they can and they should, to really get in the next attorney general to be someone that will push gun rights this hard and will listen to us. And unfortunately, the midterm elections are coming up, and while we talk about voting sucks, but the reality is, instead of if we don't have a Republican House and Senate, instead of us not getting 100% of what we want, only 10% of what we want, we're going to be back to fighting against 100% of the things we don't want. And yeah, we might be able to stop 80% of it, but a lot of stuff might pass because they have the overwhelming majority. And that turns into, instead of being on the offense and maybe not getting as much, we're going to be on the defense, and maybe we stop some bad stuff, but some stuff gets through. I think another thing that I don't know if we've talked about yet is the USPS rule, mailing handguns.
Oh, can we do that now?
Yeah.
Well, not wait. No.
Wait, you guys won?
So we're fighting that. Actually, no, that's really funny. That's a poly market question on us. So I don't know if you can bet on it.
I can definitely bet on sending poly 80s through the mail. I'll tell you that.
I didn't hear anything.
Legally, you can. Poly 80s aren't illegal. It's just illegal to sell them as build-buy kits. If what I know is like the reason that the company went under was all the lawsuits. It wasn't because they got made illegal.
Sir, this is a Lego Technic kit.
Yeah, but yeah, legally they aren't guns. They're just I don't know.
It's just plastic, officer.
They're just things.
Yeah,
It's
just
stuff.
on their own. And apparently they're going back in the frame and receiver rule to some degree, like changing the definition yet again. But from what I understood of the previous definition, you just couldn't sell it as like a build kit. You couldn't sell it as a, hey, buy this with all of the parts and you can build a gun in your garage. You just had to buy the parts separately, which is still stupid.
You got into a weird space. You got into a weird space with the frame receiver rule because of the Supreme Court ruled on it and it wasn't great. There's a lot of unanswered questions that came from that. That rule change hasn't come out from the ATF yet. So we're waiting to see what happens and how they're going to, if they change that and how they're going to change it. We still have a lawsuit on it. So we're still waiting to see, but hopefully we get some more updates very soon. We know that these 34 rules aren't going to be the final ones they do. They're planning on releasing more. So we'll keep you guys updated as much as we can with that. But yeah, really quick on the USPS, so shipping handguns through the mail. This is something we sued over in Shreve versus USPS. So we really pushed the Department of Justice towards this moment of, hey, you're the federal government. This is violating the Second Amendment rights if you're not allowed to ship a handgun completely safely. Not like, oh, I'm going into a I don't know what contraption could make that fires off bullets in the flat rate shipping box. But if it's something that where UPS can do it and FedEx can do it safely, why not USPS? So this is something we're suing over, and they actually have a rule out right now which you can comment on. But pushing for that is something before they banned arbitrarily handguns. You could ship rifles, you could ship long guns, but you couldn't ship handguns for some reason. So we sued over that. This is definitely. We're waiting to hear back, or we're still having some comment periods open. I believe it's still open. When is this going to go out, actually? Oh, sorry, the comment period is closed. But sorry, it's been a wild few days. But essentially, we're waiting to hear back. The USPS has taken comments on this rule. We put it on our Twitter. We've talked about how they should allow not only all legal firearms to be shipped through the mail, which before they wanted to ban NFA firearms from being shipped for some reason, but also ammunition instead of what they wanted to do is just allow handguns and long guns. So we're pushing for that. So now it's going to go through the rulemaking process and they have to release a final rule. We're hearing some things, a lot of people are talking about it, how they may soon allow people to ship handguns through the mail for the first time in 100 years. That's what Polymarket is saying.
Polymarket is my go-to news source.
But this is one of those big fights where it was like, yes, it's taken a long time, and yes, again, this is one of those fights that's been going on for forever, for the entire organization's 50 years, and where we've believed it from the very beginning, and our leadership has, and the founders have, but it's taking this long. We measure some of these fights not in days or in hours, but in decades, and that's really slow progress. And so it sucks that we're not able to get everything immediately. And if I could, I would snap my fingers and do it. But us staying consistent on it, us changing the culture around this is bringing it back to that is why it's so important to be involved and to be an activist and to stay informed on what's happening. And it's like the NFA, it's like the Veterans Fiduciary. It takes time, but it's always, if you stay consistent with it, we will get those breakthrough moments to do. And we just have to meet, and that's on us to meet that moment when it's possible. That's probably one of the biggest things that's come out recently. I'm happy to take some questions from the Discord if you guys are.
Yeah, let me scroll through. I did not organize these. Nathan Moose says, "You're a word I cannot say on air." Lynn Cook says, "Ben, how many hot dogs have you eaten in one sitting?"
So they're relevant.
Oh, 100%. Let's find the real
chicken
questions.
sausages count. I've eaten of those before.
How many?
So good. Like a dozen. Dude, they're like 150 calories and like so much protein. I'm like, yeah.
Ben Sanderson confirmed absolute glizzy gobbler.
I'm min-maxing my protein intake.
You know, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no. For anyone who hasn't seen Ben Sanderson, what are you doing? He is an absolute unit. He is. He could genuinely beat that. If gun right infringements were another unit, Ben Sanderson would beat the absolute bricks off of that unit.
All right, I think I'm finding the real question.
Okay, good. I was like, please tell me these aren't all going to be slurs and hot dog questions.
One more shitty one. What is the color code of the tip?
I'm actually a little disappointed that, as someone with an extensive graphic design career, I have no idea for myself.
You don't know your hash code?
It's a color code.
I will. Next episode, I will have the hex code of the tip.
Jesus,
dude, mine is hash 0000000. It's blacker than the blackest of the night.
That's crazy. That sounds like you got some Nova Scotian frostbite on that, my guy.
Gonna go to a doctor.
Yeah, I would get that checked out. Unless Nathan is secretly just an absolute mandingo. All right. Anyway,
all right.
Those
real
are good.
Shit time. Maverick wants to know: is there any movement on nationwide reciprocity for CCWs?
Yeah, no, we're still pushing the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act. We didn't talk about this. Senator Mike Lee also introduced a National Constitutional Carry Act, which protects not only magazines but also ammunition. That's something that the House version didn't have, and it's why we didn't support it the first time around. I know we got some questions about that. It was weird because you were able to constitutionally carry in the U.S. However, in say California, you weren't able to bring your Glock 19 there because the magazine and the gun was illegal. And the bullets were illegal there. It's like, oh, you can technically constitutional carry, but you need to have a registered firearm in California, meaning you have to go through all the process, but you don't have to go through the concealed carry process. Now, on the flip side, the Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act would have said, if you're from Texas, you can carry whatever gun is legal in Texas in California, so long as you have your driver's license. So it's essentially nationwide constitutional carry for people in constitutional carry states. So it was like a kind of, is almost halfway in between of like, yes, but you couldn't carry a Glock 19 everywhere. However, people from Texas could carry a Glock 19 wherever they want.
It gets into this weird gray area where it's like, okay, if states have rights, which state's rights overrides the other one?
Yeah. It was one of the things. There's the federalism question with the House version of, we want to, say that the Second Amendment is over all of them, but you can still ban magazines. And they were like, we don't, GOA, because like we can't support that. And that was our issue.
Yeah, that would be a very messy precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah, another question we have here, and this kind of relates to some of those reforms. I saw that one of the bullet points was like they were going to try and reintroduce importing weapons from previously banned or sanctioned countries.
Yes, HK-21 parts kits.
Hopefully. Now, does GOA, do you guys involve yourself in like import laws like this at all, or is it just like internal U.S. gun laws?
We do, in the sense of, I have to take a look at exactly what the import-export laws are. But it's definitely something that I've lobbied on in the past, in GOAs and the whole of like, hey, there's no gun reason to ban imports from X country. So like, Finland. Why are we banning imports of Finnish rifles? And I think this is one of those countries which was previously banned because it was former Soviet. And they said, oh, you can't import from there because it's a former Soviet country. It's like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
We're in the 21st century now. That's old news.
But there's like, if you're saying you can't import a rifle from Iran because, we're geopolitical enemies, I'm like, it's not really a gun argument there. I don't have a leg to stand on. But if you're saying you can't import from, like I said, Finland or Spain, it's like, well, no, we're allies or we're friendly. Why are we banning this? It doesn't make any sense. So we're definitely involved in that. But I will say it's to be completely honest, it's not our biggest priority. Like we're not saying like we're going to drop concealed carry reciprocity so we can do imports. But we still look at them and read through them and give our analysis on it.
It'd be very cool to be able to get a Dragonov, though. I am very excited for.
Oh,
yeah.
I dropped a Dragonov onto a friend's Dragonov onto hard tile floor in Phoenix one. Yeah, it had like it wasn't entirely my fault. It was like lent up against some posh furniture on this like really slippery tile, and I like walked by it, and the thing fell over, and I was the only one anywhere near it. So it was me by proxy. But like and oh my god, it was this. We were doing like a photo shoot at a big mansion, and the clatter it made was horrific. Just fucking 15 gun guys all looking back at me, just being like, dude. So
if an SVD falls in the abandoned mansion and no one's around to hear it.
Oh, it wasn't abandoned, bud. Everyone knew BR did that shit. It was not a good day. Anyway.
Right. Last question I have here. Is there any trend with wait times on actually getting a firearm going down across the board? And will removing restrictions from the NFA like SBR laws make it harder to strike it down since there will be less of a reason to get rid of it?
So the first part was wait times going down for NFA firearms?
For normal firearms, but I guess NFA too, because I will say, like, I got my suppressor approved in like a matter of days.
Oh, mine took like 4 days over a weekend.
Yeah, I think the NFA times are about as low as they can get. But for normal firearms in states where there is a wait period, like Colorado, is there any decrease in those times that you guys have seen?
Have we seen? I'm sorry, maybe I'm not understanding. I think us fighting for no waiting periods is something their state local team does. Obviously, fighting back against these gun laws is the issue. But for decreasing the wait times is, I don't know if it's a stat thing as much as it is a policy thing of we have to get rid of those wait times, those arbitrary restrictions. For the NFA, the wait times, this is something that we've also been working on, is making it as little as burdensome as possible. Before, when I got my suppressor, it took me 18 months to get approval for it. Now, everyone complains if it takes them more than a week. So I kind of feel like I'm shaking my fist at the young kids.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day, it took me 18 months. We're still reducing it down to as low as we can. And to the point about getting rid of these SBR laws from the NFA, making it harder to challenge. No, I think that honestly makes it easier to challenge. The less there is in it, the more people look at it. It's like, why did we have these in the first place? What was the public safety? Oh, it's a public safety concern. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, suppressors are better for hearing. No one's using a short-barreled shotgun for heckin' stagecoach robberies anymore. Short-barreled rifles are still rifles. They're big. You can't really hide them. We're getting rid of those and getting people accustomed to the idea of, these scary NFA firearms. Well, no, it's like, well, we can fight machine guns, we can fight destructive devices even more effectively, or we can get it to a point where it's meaningless, like with our Hughes Amendment loophole of, hey, you can just buy it from the state government. So that's always pushing the mission forward. It's always, we're not going to not get victories just because it might make it harder down the line. Like, we're not giving up anything.
Yeah, I think that answered it really well.
Yeah, I agree. I'm thinking about where I am, and like, there's multiple people that I know, including a cop who I don't know well, but I just kind of like saw this happen, who don't even know that NFA exists. Like, they don't know that short barrel rifles are a thing, and they just go and buy stuff and put it together. And it's like, okay, I would love to live in that kind of. That's
ignorance. Our target audience right there.
Yes.
But that's also kind of like the whole point is like, yeah, this is not dangerous. Now, if those guys went out and like made a short barrel rifle and started shooting people, which is not going to happen. Not everyone that goes out and builds a short barrel rifle is going to go attack people.
This is just like Joe Schmo.
Yeah, exactly. If hypothetically they did and like it turned Joe Schmo into some crazy killer, like, okay, maybe the NFA had a point about short barrel rifles, but that's just not realistic. No one is going to. Hopefully it doesn't get cut out of context. But no one is going to use a short barrel rifle. The short barrel rifle isn't dangerous on its own, so it doesn't make any sense. And people that are blissfully ignorant about it, they're not going crazy just because the barrel's less than 16 inches, obviously. And that's the culture change part as well.
The guy using a 5-inch barrel isn't killing anybody to begin with.
Even if he wanted to.
Not hitting anything.
I wish people understood, like, less barrel length, less velocity, less hurdy hurt, therefore less dangerous. Like, that's as simple as I see it in my head.
We're banning all barrels above 18 inches.
Dude, I've met so many desert rats that are just like, oh man, I got an AR, and they come out and you see the thing, and you're like, oh bro, and it's like red anodized pistol brace, like 7.5 inch AR, and you're like,
oh no.
Yeah, or not even a pistol brace, like a stock on it, and you're like,
Yeah.
you have never heard of the NFA, have you? Cool. All right. You do you, man.
Okay.
You live in Yuma, Arizona. You enjoy, sir. Like, no one's ever going to give a fuck about this.
Yeah. I remember a buddy used to work, Noah, he's been on the show, at a gun counter, and there was like a local cop that came in, and he had all the parts to put together an SBR. And Noah asks, like, hey, so-and-so, paperwork, wait times are pretty low. And the cop's like, what? Like, what paperwork? What? Like, he genuinely had no fucking idea. He just like, oh, I could order all these in the same cart. So yeah. And I love that. Here it's less the 7.5 inch barrel AR. It's more like I want to say like your stock PSA, like 16 inch M-lock handguard, overgassed as fuck. Half the time it's plastic handguards and a removable carry handle, and the other half it's just like your basic bitch M-lock. But there's a lot of it. I hear super safety's ripping off every other weekend. Like, I hike once a week, dude. They're everywhere.
Dude, I hear them like a couple of properties down from mine out here in Appalachia on God, what was the holiday recently? Whatever it was. Oh, Cinco de Mayo. There was just random bursts of FRTs like just out on someone's hauler. I'm like, shit, I need to meet these people.
Yeah, dude, straight up. That I love that. I go hiking every Sunday, and they're different trails, so it stands to reason these are different groups of people. I hear FRTs, no joke, every single time. Every time. Like, no matter where I go, if it's far enough out of, because like I'll go in government land, like just BLM land. Last time it was just like 3 kids, like late teens, early 20s, just ripping a FRT AR in like a logging field, just cause. And I love that. It's common use as fuck now.
Man, it sounds pretty based out west.
Oh, the West is
yes.
best.
Well, I mean, you're in Appalachia and the same thing's happening, so.
Yeah, but they're doing that on their property. Out west,
fair point.
like you could live in a studio apartment and still have like you should still find somewhere to shoot out to a mile, you know?
Yeah.
I miss that.
Dude, it is weird if I don't hear someone like ripping a mag at least once a week. Like,
it's like those people that fall asleep to like sounds of distant gunfire and explosions.
yeah.
It's like World War I at ASMR.
Yes. Dude, it's actually surprisingly great.
Once again, target audience of this podcast. So random trivia I looked up after I said it, because I was saying how many states have passed constitutional carry since I've been in the country, and I was like, I'm gonna feel really dumb if someone looks it up and it's been 5. But since I arrived like late 2018, guess how many states of the 29?
How many?
15 new constitutional carry states since
That's not bad at all. Yeah, and
No.
it's over half the states now, isn't it?
Yeah. Like it has doubled since my time in the country. I was like, I really hope I didn't just overstate that, but I looked it up. I'm like, oh shit. So since I've been here, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Montana, Iowa, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Ohio, Indiana, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Nebraska, Louisiana, and South Carolina.
I'm really
in that
surprised
order.
Nevada hasn't added to that yet. Like, Nevada of all fucking places.
Well, that's since 2018. I don't know what their current are they not constitutional carry?
No, they aren't.
Nevada? Yeah.
I've just been doing it illegally. I mean, remove that.
I just carry wherever I need to and leave it
Something
at that.
the cameras in SHOT Show.
Oh, that straight up does not work. I guarantee the thermal cameras are bullshit. I have like used my BAE UTM. I've used all my infrarays, like all of the thermal tech I can get my hands on. No, that shit's science fiction. I genuinely don't think that thermal gun detecting cameras are a thing. Like maybe they are to some degree, but like the amount
for
of
like
money
SEAL Team 6.
yeah, like my $15,000 BAE UTM can't do it. Like I don't think like gun detecting dogs. Sure, that makes sense. That's like that's easy. Okay, like dog alerts when it smells gun oil or gunpowder. Yeah, that's realistic. The thermal detection, I think that's scare tactics. I genuinely do.
Oh, that's so funny.
Also, no one stopped me for shit.
If I was carrying, which I was,
which I was,
which is where the whatever it was 2025 homeless carrying story came from.
Yeah.
We never did the shot timer thing where you just take a timer to SHOT Show and just randomly press it and see who draws.
Dude, I genuinely most of the people I know who go to SHOT Show carry. And I would like, dude, I had a fucking Flux Raider for most of that time.
Did?
Allegedly.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I
just need to make
Bulge
that.
Must have been something else. My bad.
Dude, the P365 one disappears on you. Genuinely. Like it is that weird, like full size, where it's still really thin, where it genuinely conceals better than like my Glock 19 in a cheap holster.
Poor Ben's just along for the ride on all of this.
Yes, maybe we remove some of the self-incrimination.
I can confirm nor deny nothing.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Ben stepped away for the past 3 minutes of this conversation.
Oh yeah, I had to come back for the bathroom. What happened? What?
You guys are crazy.
Yes. All I'll say is concealed is concealed. Don't be an idiot.
100%.
Is that your dad advice too?
Yes, that is my dad advice.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Before we get into all of that stuff, any more questions from the Discord?
That was everything we had.
All right.
Unless you got that hex code.
No, yeah.
I don't know what a hex code is.
I think it would be a little rude for me to check right now, but for the boys, maybe I will.
For the after show.
Yeah. Yeah, Patreon exclusive. Listen to BR figure out the hex code of the tip. Well, damn, man. Interesting times for gun rights. I'm cautiously optimistic as always. Like things seem to be trending in a healthier direction. I just hope that this administration can hold it together, and at least on gun rights, I'll save my opinions for other episodes on everything else going on. But hopefully that doesn't get thrown to the side. It doesn't seem to be, which is good. I'm glad this has been kind of like gun rights have been treated as somewhat of a like. I think this administration recognizes to a degree that these are easy wins. Like these are things that they currently have the power to, keep their voter base happy on, even if they're straying on some other stuff, some of the other promises. So hopefully, if they lose it all in the midterms and squandered their initial hold on everything, I know a lot of gun owners are going to be very upset, but we shall see.
Yeah, I mean that's it's one of those weird things where Congress is doing everything they can. The politicians that are doing a lot actually, and this is probably the most pro gun we've seen. We're actually getting things done. Fighting, getting the House to agree completely. Yeah, we should get rid of the NFA for short-barreled firearms and suppressors. That's something that's never happened before.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate you can't. That it's probably going to get voted out. But for gun owners, Congress has been doing great. The administration has been iffy. We'll leave it there. And it really does come down to gun owners we will always want more, and that's great. But we also have to recognize, man, we've really come a long way, and we should be happy about that. But we should also want more. We should continue to want more. But yeah, I don't want to steal that from my dad advice, but
yeah.
Well, we can move right along. Unless there's anything else you want to share with the audience before we move on to dad advice.
No, I mean, I think that just if we're cool to go to dad advice, I spent the last few days, with some of the leadership. Like I've said it so many times, it's just because it's so fresh in my mind. We can't get stuck in the dictatorship of the now of what's happening, and we have to keep looking forward. We have to keep demanding this. We have to keep the culture going, but we have to recognize we're making the progress. We're not. It's not over. We can't black pill. It's big white pill. Hearing from people that are older, essentially would be my grandparents, and how they have the exact same opinions and the exact same beliefs on the Second Amendment, and how they started from the very beginning, just 3 people in one office. And it's been 50 years since GOA was founded, and how much we actually share in common, where they want machine guns, they want short-barreled rifles. If they, we've put night vision on them. Just put them on, gave them a helmet and they put it on. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I wish I had this when I was a kid. But really, this culture transcends generations for the right people, and now it's growing. It's no longer a few people in one office and really being the ones pushing it against everything. Now we have huge communities, and I think we started off this with people can be upset about us not getting a $200 tax, or getting rid of only the $200 tax and not getting rid of the registration. And I put my heart and soul into that fight, but I'm right there with them. I'm like, you're right. It's not enough. We need to keep pushing. We need to keep fighting. I'm not happy. I'm happy that we got just that, but that's one fight. We got to win the war. We got to keep pushing. And it's continuous. It's always going to be more. There's always going to be more to do, and that's what we need to do. We need you guys. We need the people in the Discord. I love it when they ask me questions and like, oh, why didn't this happen, or what's going on with this, and always asking about more. That's how we keep the culture alive. Not of, oh, we got that, we're done. There's no reason to keep fighting. There's no reason to keep moving forward. We just should be happy with what we have, and that's what really is the final dad advice. All right, let me wrap it up. Don't black pill. It's white pill. Keep moving forward, but keep the people fighting for you and yourself accountable to, we need to keep pushing forward. We have to keep that progress going. Otherwise, we shouldn't accept mediocrity. We should keep the full victory in mind.
Hell yeah.
I like it a lot.
I'll keep mine super brief because I was just out in DC. And not adding any more to that, I will say carry everywhere. The world is a rough place. Nathan?
I never thought I've had to have... I see a lot. It's like, oh, you don't need this, you don't need that. Like, I'm in just like a locals group chat, and it can apply to everything. It's like, oh, you'll never need a tourniquet. Oh, you'll never need medical. You'll never need a plate carrier. You'll never need food, whatever. Like, it's statistically unlikely. And I think like that is the worst argument. You'll see it sometimes. It's like, the average defensive shooting is 3 rounds at 3 yards. That doesn't mean that your whatever situation you're in will be the average. Train and prepare for the worst, and you don't need to justify it for anyone. And cool, if you get to use your cool boy stuff one day, you'll feel very vindicated. If you don't, cool, you have a hobby like the rest of the world. It genuinely doesn't matter, just do what you want. And I do think that the argument's like, oh, you'll never need this, is fundamentally flawed. I've had to pull a gun on someone in a place that I didn't think I ever would have had to. I've had to use a light. Like, statistically, it won't happen to everyone. Both people I know that have had defensive shootings shot at over 3 yards and used the full magazine. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows? But, every time I've had to use medical, which I also try to carry, I was very glad I fucking had it. So prepare accordingly. Don't let other people dictate what you choose to carry. If you do have to, oh no, cool, you gave up your optic to the police after a legal defensive shooting, and your Gucci gun's like, cool, well, at least you're not dead. Who cares? Do what you want. No one should be able to tell you otherwise.
Base.
Yeah, that's my dad advice.
Evan?
To add on to what Nathan said, should you find yourself in a situation where your weapon is taken by police, make that shit drippy as fuck. It better look amazing in that evidence locker. It is a fashion contest. You will win. Cerakote it whatever you want. Dress it up like Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever team you're on. Put a fucking dick on it like Charlie did. Just make it beautiful. You need to stand out. Make them remember you. And maybe you'll get your gun back quicker because they're like, hey, that's the guy with the dick on his gun.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm usually not one for swapping out OEM parts, but on my Glock, my backplate is a peace symbol, so hopefully that will help me in trial.
Yes.
So I am actually like a complete hippie. Peace and zen, man. I didn't want to shoot that guy 17 times with G9 ammo.
Yeah. But you know what?
Can I countersue them for the ammo I had to waste killing them?
Yeah. I would say it's expensive, but that's still the box they gave me for free at the Idaho Range Day. So thank you, boys.
Also, shout out to G9, amazing customer service. I got sent a box where one bullet was missing a primer, and they sent me a whole new box as compensation based.
Oh, dude, G9 is great. They're up here. I've been to their facility. The coolest guys ever. Love them.
Beautiful. All right. Well, Ben, as always, an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you for doing what you do. We do have a lot of love for GOA and all you guys get up to. So always a pleasure. And I'm sure we'll have you back on again next time some rumblings happen.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It's always great to talk to you guys. If you're in the Discord, just feel free to ask me questions. I'll try my best to respond as quickly as possible.
Hell yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for that, seriously. Like, I find myself asking you stuff not, uncommonly.
It's always great to pop in every 4 months and see what's going on in there.
Or occasionally comes back from getting milk.
Yes, and cigarettes.
Yeah, I'm a mostly absent father. Anyway, all right, much love, people. Thank you for listening, and until next time.
Okay, bye.